Hi, my name is Asosa, and today I'm basically just going to go over my journey in landing internships and interviews at all these different companies. I'm really just going to talk about what I feel helped me along this journey, and hopefully, like, you find it interesting and there's something you can pick up from this. For some background about me, I go to Western University in Canada. I would say we're good school, good CS school, but it'd be ranked somewhere within the top 300. So it's not something where I feel like I got some sort of name brand advantage. Rather, I feel like there was some other stuff that really did benefit me. Personally, I feel that especially when it comes to kind of like recruiting or just getting these internships, especially for students, it's a bit non-intuitive. And if you don't have access, or let's say you're not someone who is going to go out there and get the information. So how did it start? I think it was second year summer. This was around the time people around me started getting internships, but at this time, I was working at this job and it was just so bad. But the only good thing about this job is that I could use my AirPods during work, right? And I remember I was looking through anything they'll tell me how to get an internship. Stumbled across this podcast, and I'm gonna link it here because when I say this thing changed my life, it's not even an exaggeration. It changed everything. Like I remember I listened to one on Code Academy. I'm watching all the YouTube videos in the world, and I'm telling you, I've listened to everything, and everyone's saying the same advice. And I'm like, I did that last year. It didn't get me anywhere. But then I listened to this, and like, I'm literally just spreading the word here. Like, if you can listen to this, some of the main points from the podcast was like, okay, you should, network, make sure your resume is right, and yeah, make sure your LinkedIn looks good. So that was some of the main points, and I did this. But I think what really helped me is that I did this early. Like I wasn't doing this in maybe January, February. I started on this in August. And I think that really did set me apart. So as I was doing all my resume stuff, I realized I have projects, but like, okay, how can I get more projects? So I said, okay, what's the best way? Hackathons. I don't know how it came up, but I was like hackathons. And my school had like some sort of hackathon. I don't even want to call it like a hackathon team. But I joined the team. Looking back now, like not everybody, but majority of the people I were with, like they're in FAANG. It's like, oh, yeah, like when you're around like-minded people, this stuff like happens. So at this point, I'm on LinkedIn, and this one girl from my school, um, I might link the video, but basically she posted like, oh, Ivy kids with internships. And for those of you who don't know, Ivy is the business school in my school. And I remember there was one girl in the video, and I remember she worked at Microsoft. I was like, damn, like I'm trying to work at Microsoft. So, and I think they were talking about networking in the video, and she's like, yeah, for networking, I just reach out to someone and I say, oh, I find what you do pretty cool. Like, how'd you do it? And I was like, all right. So I used that line she said, I used it on her. So she worked at Microsoft, and there's this other guy who worked at Amazon, and they were both in my school. And I reach out, right? They answer. I'm actually able to coffee chat with the both of them. And I think that what helped me in this one wasn't just coffee chatting for a referral or something like that. Like I was genuinely interested, right? And I think that did help. So yeah, I remember I met up with her and she told me like what she did. It was a good coffee chat, but like the main point was like she's like I remember she showed me her resume. It was like it's nothing so crazy, but I think like the thing that really stood out was one. She said she applied so early. Like I think she applied 2 or 3 hours after the job came out in August, and then I think. And I remember like it was one of the last. She was. I swear she was just trying to figure out what to say, and she's like, "Yeah, have you ever thought about going to a conference?" I'm like, nah. So then this conference comes up. I'm like, all right, like let me, you know what, why not? Like what else am I gonna do this weekend, right? So I get one of my CS friends, shout out Daniel, and yeah, we head on down to the conference. Whoa! Road trip! And in this, we go in And it cost like a bit of money for us to get there, get a place. And I was like, okay, is this even going to be worth it? And then we enter. And I walked in, I saw some of the big banks, like I saw Scotiabank, RBC, TD, BMO, and I was already like, I was like, very nice. And then I go to my left, and I'm seeing some other big companies. I'm seeing Bell, I'm seeing KPMG, I'm seeing SAP, I'm seeing Intuit. But then I turn to my left, and I see Amazon. Then I turn to my right, and I see Microsoft. I look in front of me, I see LinkedIn, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, boy.
So from there, we were able to talk to different people. I got to talk to a lot of recruiters I previously connected or messaged on LinkedIn. Got to see them face to face for the first time. Not for the first time, but it was one of the first main times like I was able to get like personalized links, network with so many different people that I still talk to now, and overall like it was just a really good experience. I remember we just sat I remember we were just talking, we're like, so this is how it is. I remember, so this is how people have been getting jobs this whole time. You'll be sitting down thinking, oh, I applied for the job, I'm all good, when there's someone who's literally talked to the recruiter, talked to the hiring manager. And especially when it comes to these internships, like the gap for the skill level, it's just not that big. And the difference is literally knowing the person or not knowing the person. So I finished this, and this is where I'll say I made a mistake. I remember I get all these LinkedIn's, I get all these links, I get everything. And instead of having my resume on my phone, applying right away, instead of messaging the recruiter right away, instead of messaging the people I met right away, I'm like, nah, let me wait a week. A week goes by. Some of those links closed. Some of those links closed. Some of those people stopped reaching out. So many of them just, I didn't exist anymore after we met. I thought we were friends. So then post conference, I think midterms were coming around, finals were around the corner. So I did take my foot off the gas a bit when it came to this stuff. And applications were drying up too. And I knew that like come January they were gonna come back up again. So I started like doing a little prep on how I could improve. So for the sake of the video, I'm not gonna go too much into this other coffee chat, but I also met up with somebody from our school who worked at Amazon. And another thing he really showed me was like, look, school is important. Don't forget that. Like, that's what you're here for. But at the same time, at this very moment in time, this is more important. And you need to know where your priorities lie. And, like I'd heard this before. I think they even said it in the podcast, but like like properly hearing this, it just, I was like, okay, I see like what where my priorities need to lie in terms of this journey. At the time, I'm messaging like 30 people on LinkedIn a day, like 20. And I'm like, okay, like instead of doing that, just message like 5 people and make sure it's like good messages, none of this chat GPT stuff. Like just good messages, have some sort of connection, and like just basically like a quality over quantity type thing. And yeah, I remember I did that. I was like, every job you apply to, you have to have some sort of referral or connection. Like you have to connect with other, like you have to do something. There's not, you can't just apply for a job. Like that can't happen. And as well, from there, I think, because I do think like many people, like I had the right ingredients. I knew exactly what I had to do, but I didn't know how I needed to do it. And I'm telling you, from there, like everything just took off. I remember around the time Lyft dropped their applications. And at this time, I kind of had an idea of what recruiters I should be connected with, the people I should be messaging if I'm looking for referrals, or the people I should be messaging just to get my name out there. And I mixed that in with the fact that I already I was working on a project directly related to the role. I got an interview, and yeah, unfortunately, that didn't pan out. But as they say, when one door closes, another opens. And that's exactly what happened. I think Lyft came, and then obviously, like, I'm heartbroken. And then Amazon comes, and I'm healed. And Amazon comes. I remember I was like, okay, I just packed my bags and went home. I was like, I can't be in school. I was like, school got too many distractions, too many people trying to, like, I'm just going to go home, lock in for a week. And I think that was the best decision I ever made, as you can tell from this video. At this point, I'm back home, and you need to understand, I think I've been doing interview prep slash leak code prep for like, I want to say 3 months or almost 4 months. So basically, like, I'm just going home to refine some stuff, do like Amazon specific, and I literally fighting for my life. But yeah, we go home. Um, yeah, so I think I did the interview. All went well. Good interview. About 3 or 4 days back, I hear back that I've been waitlisted, and I'm just like, damn, like maybe they might not have enough spots. And then 3 weeks later, I get the email. I don't want to go too much into the actual prep because I feel like that can be its own. Everything I said, like I was doing, I kept doing it. But like over time, once you be doing something, like I refine my method. Like I know exactly who to message. I know when to message. I know how to message, and like it just kept going. And then from there, I think Microsoft came along. That one came along really early too. But like once again, for that one, I applied what I think the hour it came out, or like I think I applied. I know I applied the same day. I applied the same day that came out. Messaged the right people, got the right referrals. From there, same thing. And then once Microsoft came, I think with Netflix, it was a very similar process. Okay, but yeah. So this is my first YouTube video. So take it take it easy. But yeah, I hope this video helped a bit. I didn't really want to make a video where I'm just saying what you can do or what you should do, but for sure, like I just wanted to share how I was able to do it and what I feel helped me. And for sure, I definitely I really want to emphasize that whole value creation aspect. Like you could have the highest grades in the world, but if you don't present yourself in a good way, like whether that's through your LinkedIn, through when you meet people, like if you don't have some sort of value outside of school, it's going to be very hard. And just I feel like people should know that. That was the journey. That was the journey. So yeah, that was interesting. Let me know. And yeah, I definitely got some more stuff. I still haven't even started Netflix, so I can definitely document that. I'm thinking about documenting going to Cali. I feel like I have a pretty cool story, and there's no point like in just keeping it to myself for people who know me. And yeah, let me know.